Coming at you from the AO Studios, it's the Fade Route with D and Z. Here are your hosts, D and Z.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Coming at you live from the AO Studio.
Ayo.
It's the Fade Route with D and Z. I am D, and we've got a great show for you tonight. We are going to talk about the last episode of Around the Horn. We're going to toss up our ideas for early awards in Major League Baseball. And Ronald Acuna makes it back to the Braves. And we'll see if that's changing their season around. But we begin today's show with basketball. Game 3 looked pretty bleak for the Knicks, who were down by as many as 20 points to the Pacers in Indiana. But the Knicks do what the Knicks do best, and they overcame the deficit to beat the Pacers on the road behind a big game from Cat Williams. However, last night they lost to the Pacers, so now they are down 3 games, 2-1. Game 5 is tomorrow night in Madison Square Garden. So Z, is there a path to victory in this series for the New York Knicks?
It's hard to say, right? Now, you go into Indy and you don't expect your role players to show up. You expect your role players to show up at home. And boy, did those role players not show up for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson, 6 points, minus 20. This guy's supposed to be your defensive stopper. Minus 20. Jalen Brunson, minus 16. Mikal Bridges, minus 13. McBride, minus 4. Shall I go on? The guys that they were killing, DeLone Wright was plus 11. He led the team in defensive plus minus.
My man.
Good job. Now, that's what it is, man. Tibbs' calling card is defense, right? You hang your hat on defense. Ain't no defense to be fucking found in this series if you're the Knicks.
Halliburton, no turnovers.
Cutting through this defense like a hot knife through butter. Like, Rick Carlisle is out coaching Tibbs. He's got his number. With the switches and the releases and the dribble, they're dribbling through the middle. It's open. It's wide open. It's amazing to me how Tom Thibodeau, the supposed genius defensively, can't figure this shit out. But it's not all on Tom Thibodeau. Karl Anthony Towns looks fucking lost on defense. He's running cross court to cover guys. You gotta simplify the defense somehow, right? The man switching is not working, right? Maybe you need to throw up some zone. Like something. Like you got to figure something out, because having your big man running across the court to cover the guy that just sprinted across, it doesn't work. All you're doing is going east to west, east to west, east to west. And I said this to you the other night. They, meaning the Knicks, they look like a different team when Jalen Brunson's on the court. And I mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a major negative way. Yeah. Like the ball stops with him. They came back and won when Jalen Brunson was on the bench. Right? You had a good stalwart effort from Josh Hart. Cat stepped up in the fourth quarter while Mr. Brunson was on the bench. That does not bode well for this combination, right? This was supposed to be the move, right? Karl Anthony Towns was supposed to be the move that takes you over the top. It got you one series farther, but you're losing to an Indiana team that is a team. They move like a team, they play like a team, and they're beating your ass like a team. I think they get Game 5, but I think I hope for Knicks in 7, but it's looking like Pacers in 6 at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'm seeing out there is I'm seeing the Pacers dictating the gameplay, right? They're dictating the flow.
Dictating the pace, no pun intended.
They're dictating the pace. And it's not like a Tom Thibodeau team. And, you know, they have made it their mission where they're going to work Jalen Brunson on both ends. He's picking up a lot of fouls, and he's having to guard multiple guards. He has a bunch of guards playing against him. And I got to be honest, Naismith is giving him a problem. I mean, he's still scoring, but he's working a lot harder for his buckets and his baskets. I mean, we talked to each other over the weekend, and it comes down to Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, I'm not trying to simplify this, but I've been talking to a lot of people. In my opinion, he's the best big man in this series. He can shoot. He can get to the basket. He can play on the block. If I'm the Knicks, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the ball out of Brunson's hands, and I'm getting it on the block to Karl Anthony Towns. I want to force Miles Turner to get physical. I want to force Siakam to come and help. I want to make these guys work. And then on the defensive end, I'm going to live with Halliburton score, but I'm not gonna let Siakam chip in with 30 points or 25 points. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. You know, if they're gonna beat me with threes from an injured Naismith or TJ McConnell or Nimhard, I'll live with that. That's fine. You're going to beat me with your B's and your C's? Fine. But you can't have Benedict Mathurin scoring 20 points, man. You can't have it. They look tired. The Knicks look tired. Like, they miss a basket and they're jogging up court. The Pacers are hustling. They are running. It's almost like the Pacers want it more, and it's not that they want it more. There's a bigger rotation there. Like, everybody's taking part in them getting this far. Everyone's taking part in this series. There's a lot of pride on here. This team's been knocking down this door for the last 2 years now. They're not going to let this opportunity slip by. The only thing I would say is that, you know, really the Knicks should have got game 1, so this series should be 2-2.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they were outplayed in game 3. They were certainly outplayed last night. I don't know what's going to happen in game 5 because I don't know what Knicks team is going to show up. And, you know, Anobi's playing very well. He's playing very well. But Josh Hart, defensively, he doesn't match up well in this series. He can't guard anybody on the Pacers. Like, he can't guard Siakam. He can't guard Halliburton. Like, he can't guard anybody.
But here's the role he's playing though. He is getting the rebounds. Like that's what he's doing.
Somebody else can hustle and get the rebounds. I'm just like, and then the numbers are beautiful, are awful. I mean, you got OG and Bridges are a -88 in the playoffs when they're on the floor together. Like, Brunson and Towns are a -27 when they're on the court together in the series. Do you understand what Rick Carlisle's doing? Like, has Tibbs figured this out yet? Like, he's forcing you to rotate. He's forcing you to play players that you're not accustomed to playing, and then he's taking advantage of that. So until that chess match is being recognized and acknowledged, they're going to continue to struggle because even when they played Boston, you guys are getting blown out and they're having to come back. Like, that's not the mark of a champion. Like, that's not going to work. So, I mean, I'm not going to change my prediction. I still think it's Knicks in 7. I think they can do it. You know, anything can happen. But at some point they've got to recognize talent, and what you're doing is not working.
No, and to be fair, Tibbs is getting it on both ends, right? So he's getting it for not playing his guys, and then when he does play his guys, he rotated in 10. He had a 10-man rotation in Game 4. What the fuck you playing them for? Like, he's in a lose-lose situation right now. Like, he's effectively coaching for his job, fair or not.
Which is wild, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy to me. Now, but here's the thing: Michael Malone is available. Former.
That's not the answer, Z. That's not gonna work. He's that's like Budenholzer going to the Suns. Like, that's not gonna work, man. He can't come to the Knicks and coach this team. The Knicks have a good coach. It's that he's just being out-coached right now. You think Mike Malone could out-coach Rick Carlisle? Come on. That's not what this is about. This is about this guy needs to step up and recognize what's going on and get his players to play. I was talking to some Knicks fans about Karl Anthony Towns. They're like, well, he's lazy, and it's like, I don't want to hear that shit. And it's like, well, he can't really be the guy. It's like, no, he needs to be the guy right now. This is what they need. This is what, I don't know if you got to get in his ear and say, dude, we're going to trade you to the fucking Wizards if you don't get your shit together. Like, I don't know what you got to tell him a story, spit in his ear, just get him going. Because when he gets downhill, Z, you've seen it.
He's unstoppable.
When he gets the ball at the foul line and he gets downhill, my man's going to the basket, and it's going to be an and one. He can shoot threes. They're all worried about Jalen Brunson, and they're living with Cat abusing he abuses them. He's abusing the Pacers. The turnovers are awful. The Knicks had like 18 turnovers. It's like, come on, guys. Come on, this isn't gonna work. There need to be better. There need to be better discipline. I understand you're tired. This is what a champion is. This is what you got to fight through. But is Halliburton better than Brunson?
Halliburton has asked you to do something different. So, like, Brunson doesn't have to be the guy. He's choosing to be the guy right now.
Well, that's not what I'm asking you, though. It's like if you're starting a basketball team and you get first pick and you can have Brunson or Halliburton, which guy you take?
I'm still going to take Brunson. I take Brunson because he's a facilitator. He's a facilitator first, and that's what he should be doing.
And then the other part is like if you're starting a team and I say, okay, you can have Cat Williams or you can have Tyrese Halliburton. Who you take?
I'm taking Tyrese Halliburton.
Wow.
Halliburton is proving to be that. Now I know you don't like the term lazy. Now it's true. He's not. It's not laziness. Maybe it is softness. People are confusing soft and lazy. Like, you can be soft. So maybe Cat is a little soft. I mean, that was his reputation coming out of Minnesota. So yeah. Tyrese Halliburton is more of a hard-nosed player. I think that is the kind of a guy that you want. Now, I think that this matchup has gotten into Brunson's head. I do think that it's become a dick measuring contest between him and Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
And it's not a dick measuring contest. Like, it can't be. It cannot be. If it is that, you've already lost. Pack it in. It's over. It's over, Johnny. So some of that, I think, is him admitting, I can't fucking guard this guy. So maybe you double him. Maybe you throw Bridges at him. Maybe you switch. Maybe you do something. Right? Maybe you put OG on him. I don't know. But you got to do something.
OG on who? Halliburton?
On Halliburton. Like, OG, he was brought here to be a defensive rock. Right? Mikal Bridges is supposed to be a 3-and-D guy. Like, these are, that's what they're supposed to do. Like, that's what they're here for. So, if they're your better defensive players, throw them at Halliburton. Switch them. Do what you have to do. But you can't let Halliburton go off. Like, you can't
I'm beginning to see the weaknesses in Bridges' game, too. Beginning to see those weaknesses, right? I mean, I get you got 17 points, but 3 rebounds and only 2 assists. It's like, dude, I mean, You're playing 34 minutes, and that's what you're giving me here. Like,
if your role is 3 and D, and you're not playing D, and you're not hitting threes, what the fuck are you doing?
he's not really a 3-point shooter to me. I mean, do you view him as
He's a three. He's one of the
shooter?
better 3 and D guys in the league. Unfortunately, if that's the
Yeah.
case. But to go back to Michael Malone, like I know that you're concerned he wouldn't work here. He's more flexible. He'd be more willing to try guys off the bench and not wait until Game 3 of the conference final. Like that's the sticking point between a guy like Malone and a guy like Thibodeau. Thibodeau is dug in, and Kenny Smith called him on it. He said he wouldn't start 9 guys in a baseball game. Like that's an all-time great quote from Kenny the Jet right there. And it's true. Like we know this about his rotations. Now, with Malone will burn his bridges, right? He is an opinionated guy. He'll run his mouth will run his ass out of town. So, is it a good fit? Probably not, but he is available. Now, it doesn't really fix the issue. And I think that's the overreaction part of it, right? The Knicks fans trade Karl Anthony Towns, do this, do that. It's not happening, right? You need to figure it out because you're not trading Mikal Bridges. You just traded 5 first-round picks for him.
Yeah.
You ain't doing that.
Right. Well, that's what I'm trying to say is like you're looking at what you got, right? And what he's doing. And it's like, did we overpay here? Do we really need this guy? I don't know. That's just the kind of
I think you need a 2-guard. I think Bridges needs to come off the bench and you need a 2-guard. I don't know who that is, but I think you need to move him into a more of a complementary role. He can't be in the starting 5. Not if he's going to play like this.
I don't know, but with a little bit of a mix-up here, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. They took a commanding 3-1 lead over the T-Wolves 2 nights ago. And the Hurricanes managed to finally get a victory over the Panthers, who lead their series 3-1. And the Panthers are actually winning 1-0 right now. The Hurricanes are actually winning 1-0 right now over the Panthers. So, which team has a better chance of getting back in their series, the Hurricanes or the T-Wolves?
Oh, there's a couple of things that keep the Carolina Hurricanes from ascending to the next level. Their goaltending situation, because they had to bench Freddie Anderson, I can't pronounce his name. Konechnikov, I believe is his name.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll call it that. That is the switch that they have made, because they have a goalie issue currently, and Freddie Anderson is not the answer. The other thing is an inconsistent scoring punch. You have guys like Svechnikov, you have guys like Sebastian Aho, you have players on this team that can score. The system lends itself to more of a defensive prowess, but you do have some offensive weapons on here. And there's a shelf life. There's an absolute shelf life. Like we were talking about last week with Arthur. The Carolina Hurricanes have a shelf life on how long they can go. Much like the Rangers were years ago. Eventually, you're beat up, you're tired, you can't go anymore. You go till you can't go no more. And unfortunately for them, I think they're done. I think it's over. Because at the end of the day, they're going up against a Panther team that is a thing we like to call the reigning defending champion.
And they got Brad Marchand.
And they added Marchand to really rub salt in things. So he's just going to lick people. That's what Marchand does at this point in his career. But you got Kachuk, right? You have Verhaeghe. That line is humming. That line is absolutely humming. And they're deep. And they have the goalie. That seems to be...
Zigoli!
Zigoli!
Bobrovsky, whatever his name
Officer
is.
Bob, Sergei Bobrovsky, yep. They've got the team, right? They've got a full and complete and deep team. I don't think by any means that the Wolves can dig out of the hole that they dug for themselves. What they do have, though, is they have the offensive prowess of Anthony Edwards. If you can get his shit together, get your head on straight, he can light up a team.
He's another guy that he only had like 4 points in the first half of the last game.
When he's right, he's a dominant offensive force.
He only took 2 shots. And they're thinking he's going to be like the next franchise player. You think he's going to be the next face of the league? No chance, dude. Like, no chance at all. I don't believe in him. I don't believe in what's going on there.
So, I think that both teams are cooked. Both teams are done, but I think the Timberwolves will at least get one more game. So, the comeback? Nah. Neither one. Nah. No way. But next game will probably go to Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I'm going to say that I think wilder things have happened in hockey. I mean, hockey is one of the sports where they've had multiple teams come back from 3-0 down and win a series. So I'm going to give optimism more to the Hurricanes than I am to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're being outmatched right now, Z. I don't know if you've been able to watch any of their games, but it's like you almost feel bad for them. Like, Julius Randle was 1 for 7 yesterday. Like, you're not winning games when your second best player is 1 for 7. You're not winning games when your best player is only scoring 4 points and a half. Like, we talked earlier in the show about Thibodeau and not being able to figure out Rick Carlisle. Well, it's the same thing going on in Oklahoma City, where the Oklahoma City Thunder have essentially figured out how to shut down the Timberwolves. So we're going to crowd the box. Anytime Anthony Edwards gets in the paint, double him. Julius Randle, be physical with him. Force him to dribble and turn the basketball over. There's a blueprint for what they're doing. And we talked about how, the Knicks don't have an answer for, like, Halliburton. Man, the T-Wolves certainly don't have an answer for SGA, who's doing whatever the hell he wants. Layups, threes, passing the ball, taking it up, just enjoying everything. It's easy. They're getting easy baskets. And you could tell the Wolves are trying to give it all they got, but if it's not there, it's not there. Like, Anthony Edwards isn't going to force it. But also, it's like, how do we create opportunities for him? How do we create areas where he can score? I mean, we're seeing him get to the basket, and then he jumps up in the air, and there's 3 guys jumping with him, and he's looking to pass the ball to somebody else, and he either turns it over or gives it to Julius Randle, who can't get it done. And it's crazy because last series, Julius Randle looked like fucking LeBron James. He's like averaging like 25 and 7. Like, oh, all right, yeah. This is the guy from Duke. Oh, no, not Duke. This is the guy from Kentucky. Okay. I see you, lefty. And then it's like in this series, he can't dribble the basketball. He dribbles the basketball, turnover, bounces out of bounds. And then under the basket, he's missing layups, he's bumming shots. It's like, what is going on? So if I'm going to give anything, I can, and I really do, I love the Hurricanes coach. I think he comes with a lot of energy. And there's no give up in that guy. There's no give up in this team. We see it with them facing the Rangers every year and giving the Rangers the hard time. I say anything can happen in hockey. I give them more of a chance of coming back than I do the Carolina Hurricanes, who are currently up 1-0.
Well, when you're looking at it, you can have a nice deep team in hockey, right? You absolutely can have that, and you need to rely on all of them. If you're not rolling 4 lines, you definitely, you're gonna get taxed. If you're not rolling 6 defensemen, you're gonna get taxed, and that's where you're starting. That's where you start to get stretched thin if you're the Hurricanes, right? They don't have Slavin. They don't have Brent Pesce anymore. Now it's just Jacob Slavin, right? They had to bring in Brent Burns. Brent Burns is like our age. So, you had to bring in Taylor Hall. Like, okay, Like Seth Jarvis is pretty darn good. Sebastian Aho is pretty darn good. But your depth can't match the depth on the Panthers. And it's proving the same way in the Thunder series, right? The depth of the T-Wolves isn't there. Like, where's Naz Reid? What are we doing here? Like, he was supposed to be one of the better six men, right? I believe he won Sixth Man of the Year over our buddy Ty Jerome, if I'm correct. But no show. Rudy Gobert, 13 points. Come on now. What are we doing here? Your depth is definitely being tested when you can throw another 5 guys. You can throw an Alex Caruso off your bench. You could throw, you have Lou Dort, who's one of the, he's more of a defensive-minded player, but he's a lockdown defender. He's what you want OG and the others to be on the Knicks, right? He's what you hope Mikal Bridges could be.
Yeah.
But you need that. It's to the point where, you need Herculean performances from your bench players, and that doesn't happen. You're not going to get those Herculean performances because they're just not as good. When you can roll out a third line, or when you can roll out a fourth line that's the caliber of a second line on another team, like, that's where you are, right? You're looking at Bennett, you're looking at Reinhardt, you're looking at Barkov, you're looking at Marchand.
It reminds me of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Remember when they were on their run, like all 4 of their lines.
Right.
Jeez.
When they circumvented the cup to get to that. Like, holy shit. Like, you have a fourth line. Like, that's your fourth line? My God. That's better than some teams' ones.
My dear Lord.
Right. This is what we have to go against.
But
they're not good.
Yeah,
that's
good.
the one thing, though. The Hurricanes, they don't have that give up. They don't have that give up in them. And that's taught from Rod Brindamore. Let's see if Chris Finch has instilled that in his team. I don't know. We're going to have to see. We've seen it from Brindamore. We've seen it from the Hurricanes. Now we got to see it from the Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, he's like I said, I like Brindamore. I think he's a coach that plays with a lot of energy, comes up with a lot of different ideas. And he's a fighter. He's not going to lay down. He doesn't care what the odds are. He's going to coach his guys up to give them their best shot.
Avoid messy accidents. Get better stopping power with your brake pads. Callahan brake pads. You never know when you'll be driving in the road and there will be a truck tire that you need to avoid and save your family. Callahan Auto. We really care about what's under your hood.
A team that's not giving their best shot right now are the fucking Baltimore Orioles, who are currently 14 games back, are in last place in the American League East. Yes, they're even behind the Rays, who don't have a home field. They fired their manager, Brandon Hyde, last week. They think they're a minus 92 run differential.
Coño.
So, Z, can they make a run for the wild card, or is their season just over right now?
A run at what? What are we talking about here? What are they can make a run for the
off-season plans?
Oh God, they can start booking their shit now. They can avoid the crowds. Oh my God.
This all comes down to the failure in free agency. Like, you couldn't get Burns to fucking come back. You let Santander go. Like, what did you think was going to happen? You couldn't get in any free agents. Couldn't even get Max Fried to come and talk to you. Like, what did you think was going to happen here? How did you think this was going to play out?
I don't know. I don't know what the thought process was, considering the fact that they went all in when they got the Corbin Burns deal done, right? Like, that was the move. That was what you were supposed to do. And you have a lineup that plays, right? Gunnar Henderson, Ryan Mountcastle, Jackson Holliday, Cedric Mullins, Rushman, Ryan O'Hearn. You have Westberg. O'Neal just went on the IL, but O'Neal can play. They had Gary Sanchez. They're not asking him to catch. So there you go. You have some thunder. You have thunder in that order. It's there. But it's the pitching.
It's awful. It's not awful.
Fucking atrocious, dude. You already have 3 guys who've given double-digit home runs. Sugano, Kramer, and Morton have all given up double-digit home runs already. We're still in fucking May.
Aw, shit.
That's not Shaquille O'Neal and left. That baby's out of here. And, it is not what you hoped for. You were hoping that Dean Kramer could...
When Charlie Morton's leading your team in strikeouts, there's a problem.
Right. But you're looking at it, and the bullpen's no good. They just cut Kyle Gibson loose. I think he went to the Rays. I think he's on the Rays now, so they'll fix him in about 30 seconds. Right? You brought in Charlie Morton for what? I don't know. It's like, we got the guy who's going to replace Corbin Burns. Max Fried? No. Charlie Morton. Are you high? Pee in this cup right now. I don't understand. They have a new owner. He's got deep pockets.
Just the failure to really understand.
Dude, come on.
The off season, just a real failure to get a grasp of, what your team needed. The Yankees understood the assignment. They bolstered their bullpen. They went out and got starting pitching. And, now Cole goes down and they don't miss a beat. The Yankees are cruising with a 7-game lead in the East, and they're doing that without their best pitcher, right? Because Fried is playing very well right now. Arguably Cy Young material. And then they've called up all their guys. And this is it. This is it. And you were supposed to be the team that was going to compete with them this year. And you're not. And you're wasting good years from Rushman. You're wasting good years from, Holiday still is starting to come around, but who's their other guy on their team is damn good.
Gunnar Henderson.
Wasting time with him. So I don't know where they go from here. I think it's a wrap. I think it would be hard to make up this kind of ground, especially with, the Red Sox are a decent team. The Rays have fight as they always do. So, and the Yankees are going to pummel you. They're going to rip your heart out when they play you.
But realistically,
and the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays are better than you. They're better. They have one of your best players.
But with the lineup, you could get away with losing Santander. Because Santander,
with what? Ryan O'Hearn? What? Who are you afraid of in their lineup? When you're playing the O's,
Henderson, Rushman, Mountcastle is a solid player. Holiday's pretty good. O'Hearn has his moments. You have there's offense in this lineup.
Their point differential is minus 95.
Their pitching is atrocious. What?
Who hired this?
Bingo! I'm looking at players. I'm looking at pitchers that I could possibly deal off. Hey, maybe a contender will. Nobody. I'm trying to find, maybe a contender would want this guy. No, nobody. Absolutely maybe somebody would take a flyer on Charlie Morton.
No, he ain't going nowhere.
Maybe
Who's
somebody would take a flyer on Gregory Soto.
How about Sugano?
He leads the team in home runs allowed. Maybe getting him away from Camden Yards would be good for him. I don't know. Maybe. right? It's maybe you kick the tires on that. It depends on the deal.
Son game.
You're selling low. You know, you're selling pretty fucking low right now. It's like, you know what? I'll pay you. It's got to be your ball.
I'll pay you to pitch this guy against us.
But if they were to break this team up, like, you're not going to trade Holiday, you're not going to trade Henderson, you're not going to trade Rushman. Mountcastle's going to get you, what, maybe 2 low-end prospects? Maybe 1? I think Mullins is in his walk year. Right? What's he going to get you? And who needs a center fielder right now? Who needs a center fielder that can hit? I mean, the Mets could use him, but I can't really, like, the Dodgers. The Dodgers will probably end up with him because the Dodgers end up with everybody lately. That seems to be the case, but I'd be hard pressed to find a veteran player that could fetch you some kind of organization altering return.
Right. I don't. That's what I'm saying. And
unless
like,
you trade Rushman, I think they have a catcher in the minors.
That's not gonna happen. You know, how could you trade our best player without asking?
Dude, have you heard the rumors?
I'm tapped out.
Dude,
I can't make payroll.
I didn't sell him outright. Got you an outfield. But you heard the rumors. They're already kicking around trading Paul Skeens. Have we lost our fucking minds here? Have we lost our fucking minds? They're talking about trading Paul Skeens from Pittsburgh already. Like, Paul Skeens is in his second year. Can we give him some time? Can we?
No, you don't want to get him before he needs another Tommy John surgery.
Right.
No, I mean, I think it's fair to say they're cooked. I just can't see them going on a run in June or July. I just can't. It's too tough of a division. It's too much ground to make up. Even though everybody gets into the playoffs now in Major League Baseball, I mean, there's 50-50 crap, and then there's us.
Right. Could you imagine the balls on Mike Elias to go into the owner's office and say, I think we can make a run. We need to buy at the deadline. Are you... Pee in this cup.
Get out. Get out now.
Just pack up your office. You're done. You're fucking done. No, there's nothing. Like, the Orioles are lucky that the White Sox and Rockies exist. Because if they didn't, we'd be focused more on how bad and inept this season has been for the O's. It's certainly been one to forget. And hopefully it's not that. Hopefully it's not that long of a return, because it wasn't so long ago that they were in the American League Championship Series trying to vie for the pennant. And now, like, they're on the ground. They're looking for their mouthpiece.
No, they are. It's sad. It's sad. I don't know what Henderson's going to have to turn into to turn this franchise around, because I feel like it really rests on him from a hitting standpoint. And pitching wise, they're going to have to do what the Yankees did this past year. You're going to have to go out and pay for some fucking pitching. You're going to have to make some mood, trade some players, and go get some pitching.
Yeah. And you're going to have to build a lab to get players to pitch in Camden Yards. It seems to be an issue, right? Yeah. Now, Corbin Burns is a special pitcher. So I understand why you were tantalized by him. But he was definitely the one that got away. And he was the one that was clearly holding shit together. But speaking of holding shit together, he's back. Ronald Acuna Jr. came back to the Braves over the weekend after tearing his ACL last year, and he came back scorching. He had a home run in just his first at-bat, and he's hitting over 300 since returning. Is this the jolt the Braves need to battle the Phillies and the Mets in the National League East?
I mean, they're still under 500. The run differential is getting a little better with him. I have to say that really, in watching them play, I don't like what I'm seeing from Riley. I don't like what I'm seeing from Olsen. I hate what I'm seeing from Michael Harris. The idea that they're batting him 7th just baffles the shit out of me. I don't really understand this lineup. The one person that I'm kind of hanging my hat on right now that I think is having a really good year again is Marcell Ozuna. Marcell Ozuna is really, he's a problem. He's a tough out, and he smashes the ball, So I think it's a mixture of things. I need Acuna to be a little bit of a leader, hold some people accountable, and just stay healthy, man. Like, don't be tearing your ACL leading off second base and none of this other bullshit. Like, I need you to come in, and I need you to just play hard. You've missed enough time. Play every day. And let's try to get back into this. So I'm more optimistic about Marcell Ozuna than I am for Ronald Acuna.
It's still pretty thin in the outfield, even with Acuna. It's still pretty thin. You have Acuna, you have Harris, and then you have Eli White, Stuart Fairchild, and Alex Verdugo.
Oh, Eli White was a mess a couple weeks ago. No, last week. I mean, they bring him in to pitch run. They're down by a run in the 9th inning.
Oh, yes, I think I saw this.
You saw that? Garbage dude thought that the ball was caught and starts running back to second base. It's like, dude, you were about to be the tying run on third base. Where the fuck are you going? And we brought you in to pinch run. Like, this is your only job today, and you fucked this up.
Pick up your coach, son. Pick up your fucking coach, for Christ's sake. When in doubt, pick up your fucking coach. It's
gosh damn it.
It reminds me of my softball team. It reminds me of the girls' softball team. We had kids just like that. I just put my head down and run, coach. Sorry. Like, what do you mean sorry? What the hell do you mean sorry? Jesus Christ.
Which team do you play for?
I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. Oh, God. I mean, Olsen and Riley Albies, like, you have that. Murphy's a fucking lightning rod.
A cool thing about Marcell Ozuna. So 7 times in history, a batter has had 170 plus strikeouts and hit 300, and he was one of those. That's insane. Guys. Isn't that really cool?
That's an impressive statistic.
Like, so Aaron Judge did it twice. Bobby Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Ryan Howard, and Marcell Ozuna.
It's pretty good company.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the least of the bunch, but
he's a big dude.
He's a big
dude.
But you wouldn't expect to compare him to Bobby Bonds, Aaron Judge, and Ryan Howard. Like, you wouldn't expect them to be in the same breath,
right? But I'm also like I'm just being realistic. I mean, they'd have to go on some run to really compete. The pitching just isn't there. Like, they're just. To me, that's the issue. The pitching is not there, man. Like,
Strider's just coming back.
Strider is hitting people. His ERA is over 5.
Maybe he's coming back too soon.
He is he's just a guy right now. He's only 1 year back, and he literally is just a guy. Unfortunately.
And then, Sale had a rocky start. He seems to be settling in. He's got a 3.36 ERA.
Sale's old.
Yeah, like,
there's a tape. There's a tape on him now. Like, guys are ready for his bullshit.
And then you're looking at the end of the rotation is Schwellenbach, who's good. Schwellenbach is good.
Right. He's good.
You have you have Smith Shawver. Like, we need to see more. And Grant Holmes. You need to see more. Like, they need more.
Bryce Elder's a bomb.
Bryce Elder's he's back in AAA, I think, right? So he's done.
God, I hope so.
He's done. I mean, Alex Anthopoulos did not do right by the pitching staff. Like, the bullpen...
Fucking closer has an ERA of
Yeah.
6. That can't be good.
De Los Santos stinks. We saw him with the Yankees. Aaron Bummer, well, he's living up to his name. Like, Pierce Johnson had one good year.
This is not a team that's going anywhere, guys.
And
this is a team that's just going to be like I think the Hurricanes got another.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah.
But we talked about a failure
They did.
of management to read the room and a failure of management to address the offseason. That is Alex Anthopoulos. You know who they really need? They need Max fucking Fried. They needed to keep Max Fried. And if they didn't keep Max Fried, they needed to get somebody comparable to Max Fried. You need more. You weren't good enough to withstand losing this guy.
Nah, I was ready for him to be done. I was done with Fried because it was time, Z. Like, he was getting hurt a lot, and I think it was just time for him to find another team. And I'm okay with that. Like, I thought Strider would have came back like better than what he is, and I thought Elder and I thought Holmes would be able to, really play better, and it just did not materializing the way I thought it would. I thought Acuna also would have came back a month ago, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm a realist. It's cool. This isn't our year, but hopefully next year we can get our shit together.
This team's good enough to be a wild card team.
That's just a waste of time. We're just delaying the inevitable. It's inevitable. We're not better. We're not better than last year. We're getting gutted. We're not gonna beat the Dodgers. I had the Braves finishing in first, and you said you had the Mets ahead of them. And I scoffed at it at the time, but you look at the Met team. The Mets have a better team. They even almost seem hungrier. So,
well, if you're Alex Anthopoulos, then do you blow this fucking thing up? Like, I mean, you could probably get a prospect for Chris Sale. You could probably get something from Murphy. You can kick the tires on Olsen. You can kick the tires on Riley. You can kick the tires on all these guys.
No, I just think it's just a down year. It's a down year. I wouldn't blow everything up. I just think they need to invest in pitching, similar to the O's do need this offseason. It's like that's where your focus needs to get. We need to get back to a rotation where we have a 3-headed monster. We need 3 guys, at least 3 guys, and they can't be named Sale or Morton. Like, it's just, we got to figure out. I think next year Strider will be, 2 years removed from surgery, so he'll be better. And then we'll have to get 2 guys. That's just the way it's going to have to be.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You either have to trade somebody, right? You have to trade for somebody, or you need to dip your toe into the free agent market, and you're going to be shelling out big bucks for past performance. Past performance and the promise of a future. Do you really want to do that with a guy who's probably at or past 30 years old? Not necessarily. I don't think you necessarily want to be doing that. So the Braves are kind of stuck right now. So they may want to consider making a couple of strategic trades. I don't know who that would be. I don't know who would be interested. But a couple tweaks, I think, would get that. But do you trust Alex Anthopoulos to be the guy? Because Toronto didn't trust Alex Anthopoulos to be the guy to kind of spearhead things.
Yeah, I'm okay with him. I get why things were supposed to work. I get what he was looking at and what he expected. And it just didn't go that way. And you know what? That's okay. But it's way too early. But
way too early.
In your opinion, who has the edge for the Cy Young Award and MVP race in Major League Baseball?
All right, so American League. Let's go with American League MVP first. It's Aaron Judge. Come on now. Like,
Yeah,
it's not even close. Like, if you're going to nominate two other guys, you'll probably, like, Big Dumper and Bobby Witt Jr. are probably going to be the other two guys. Because, you know, we have to do the whole awards ceremony thing. And we have to vote 3 people, even though we know that Aaron Judge is going to fucking win this thing. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's a fait accompli, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Now, the National League, it's not as clear cut. Because you have Ohtani, who could win this award every year if you want. You have Fernando Tatis Jr. You have a guy like Pete Crow Armstrong. You have a bunch of players who could lay claim to this. And again, this is way too early, right? Like,
how about Wilmer Flores with 45 RBIs?
Solid. You know, Wilmer's a favorite of mine. Absolutely. Going back to his Met days, he was always clutch.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, you're also, you know, discounting guys that are going to bubble up. Like, think about last year. At this point in time, who had Francisco Lindor finishing second in MVP? Francisco Lindor looked like he couldn't his way out of a paper bag.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of time. You know, these things will settle themselves. Ultimately, I'll take Ohtani. God damn it. You know, it's becoming boring. It's becoming repetitive. But
well, he's gearing up to pitch soon.
Yeah, I saw that he had his bullpen session, and that overshadowed the Sunday night game. So his bullpen session was more important than an actual regular season game. Fucking joke. Absolute fucking joke. As far as Cy Young, you gotta like what Max Fried is doing. Like, so far, if you're a Yankee fan, you sign up for this. That's exactly what you hope for.
Yeah.
If you're a Red Sox fan, you love what Garrett Crochet's doing. Like, you're sign up for that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Skubal, but Tariq Skubal is still really friggin' good. You know, a guy like Chris Bubich from the Royals, 5-2, 1.45 ERA. Can he keep that going? We'll see. But, you know, you gotta like what you've seen so far from them. And then for the National League Cy Young, I mean, might as well just give to fucking Ohtani right now, right? He threw live batting practice. Oh my God. Holy shit. Let's call it a day. But, you know, you'll have your Wheelers and your Skeens, and you'll have Senga. Senga's been pitching pretty decently. Luzardo.
1.46 ERA.
Yeah. Like, you have a lot of good, solid arms here. And you have a lot of good, solid performances. I gotta go with Wheeler. 6-1, 2.42. Like, I'm okay with that. I think that's a solid choice for the Cy. But, you know, stranger things have happened. And, you know, performances dip, other players take off. But if you're twisting my arm, I would take those as my early picks for MVPs and Cy Youngs.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on most of them. The only thing I probably would tweak is, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if you're not going to give it to Skeens, I think Senga deserves respect. On 1.46 ERA. Also, as the Mets as a team, I believe, have a sub-4 ERA, which is impressive. So, the only other, I guess, my runner-up, I'd say Skeens, Senga, and my runner-up would be Gore, who looks like he's going to be the first to 100 strikeouts. Playing that well on the Nationals. I think you deserve a little respect there. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you with Judge. Ohtani, there's no really match there. And in the American League Cy Young, I'm down with Fried. I think he's been able to stay healthy, which is the key, number one. Number two is that he's facing guys that haven't faced him, right?
Yeah.
They're all seeing this shit for the first time, right? And, you know, so that's why I think this year is going to go well, and next year might be a little rocky. And your boy Carlos Rodon, listen, the ERA is down. He's striking out angels. He's striking out everybody. He's looking pretty good. Nathan Eovaldi's having a good season, and I'm not just saying that because he's on my fantasy team, and he helped me win 2 fantasy championships. But yeah, he's pretty good. So yeah, that's where I am. And baseball is it's all based on averages. So most of these guys that are here, barring injury, are going to be the same names we talked about at the end of the season.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure they'll keep this shit going.
Eventually, everybody regresses to their mean. For some people, that mean is, Ted fucking Williams. And that's where Aaron Judge is right now.
Aaron Judge is still batting almost 400, so I hope that mean is down the line. Another player on my fantasy team. So I hope he keeps rocking it out.
It's undeniable. He hits 400. He's the MVP. He wins the Triple Crown. He wins the MVP. Like it's undeniable. Like, think about how far over the head that a guy like Cal Raleigh has to play. He's got to be like.
And Cal Raleigh, for a catcher, he plays every day.
Does.
That guy plays every single day, and he usually hits a bomb or gets like an RBI or 2 almost every day. That's impressive to be able to do that as a catcher.
Respect to the big dumper. Absolutely. Major respect to the big dumper. But think about all the great offensive catchers, right? Piazza, Hodge, Bench, Fisk. They had to play above and beyond. They had to play that much better to get recognition because it was such a grind. And then now you have a competition of a guy who's trying to win the Triple Crown and hit 400. You have to play like Barry Bonds and Ted Williams had a kid.
He's got Barry Bonds numbers right now. He's got Barry Bonds numbers right now.
You have to play so far out of your mind. It's unbelievable. But, kudos to the dumper because he is putting on a show.
Step outside of your safe area and make a statement without saying much with FCK Clout Lifestyle Apparel. Embrace the colorful chaos and stay emotionally regulated in their graphic tees, hoodies, snapbacks, accessories, and more. Go to fckclout.com today and check out current season and past season merchandise for men and women. Get it while you can. That's fckclout.com. Check them out today. fckclout.com.
Speaking of shows, after 23 years, Around the Horn aired their last show on Friday. This show was a great tee-up to PTI and allowed sports writers to debate in front of the camera. What did you think of the last episode, and what type of show would you like to see in its place?
Yeah, I was never an Around the Horn fan, and oddly enough, the reason why I didn't like the show is because I never understood the scoring. That's really why I didn't watch the show, because he would just think, put people on mute, and it's like, I don't really get what's going on here. But I like the last episode. I do like Tony Reale, Fordham University guy. I think he lived out the dream. Like, everybody wants to be an intern and then get their own show or become the person, right? And he did that, and he really grew up on the show. Like, he got married, he had children, he formed great relationships with the writers that were on the show, and I really did appreciate him, and I really did enjoy the last episode. I liked how they did the FaceTimes. I could have done without him explaining the scoring. I really didn't give a shit about that. I don't know why Pablo Torre had to be there either. But I like the FaceTimes, and I liked some of the things he talked about and the credit he gave. And as far as what I want to see next, it's tough, Z, because what holds my attention, right? Right now, I find myself, when I'm not listening to podcasts, I'm going on YouTube, and I really enjoy. I enjoy a show that's talking to professional players, or old, or either current players or retired players, that are giving their POV on a situation or on something, and then talking about like they're playing this. That's what I like to watch. So I like all the smoke. Like that's one of the shows that I like to watch. I enjoy KG Certified. I enjoyed watching Garnett and Paul Pierce break down basketball. So maybe it's something like a mix of that. It's something where you can get your Kevin Garnett's and your Paul Pierce's and, you know, your Matt Barnes's, and I guess it's a basketball show, but they don't only talk basketball. I mean, they talk about other things, but I enjoy that. I'm not interested in like another kind of get-up show. I'm not interested in like an NBA countdown.
Oh God, no.
Or an NFL live. Like I don't want that. I want insightful players and who are either recently retired, and I want a new guy on the show every week. Almost like I kind of like the LeBron James barbershop show he had. I don't like his podcast, LeBron James's that he does with Steve Nash. I find it very boring. But yeah, I like that. I like watching that, and I would be interested in it. I'm not interested in kind of like a game show. I don't really want that. Especially if it's too overly complicated. Like even PTI, they don't do like their game show elements anymore like they used to. It's more about like, what's the headlines? What's your POV? This is my POV, and then let's argue and debate it a little. But I like the animation of Kevin Garnett. I like the silliness of Paul Pierce. I actually really enjoy Matt Barnes as a journalist, the way he talks. I think he's well-spoken individual, and I like Steven Jackson on that show. So something around those. Paul George has got a decent show too. So I guess I really like the basketball player shows, but yeah.
I'm surprised Podcast P has your attention.
Yeah, not all the time, but I've seen it a couple of times.
Or you know what? Maybe that's it then. Maybe it's like what needs to replace Around the Horn is like Red Zone, but podcast. Like it's just the hot viral clips from certain podcasts, and that would allow the worldwide leader to buy up a whole bunch of podcasters, start a whole bunch of podcasts. Maybe ones that don't involve Daniel Cormier and Ryan Clark. They seem to. That's not a bad idea, and like each one has maybe a 5 or 6 minute segment. Yeah,
right? You need to fill up 23 minutes, so you can get 5, 10, 50, you can get four segments from 4 different podcasts, and maybe that's a rotating thing. Maybe every week or every month there's a new group of podcasts that you have on to get in their take and get in what they're talking. Or maybe you make it interactive, have a fan vote on X or on the socials. Like, here are the clips. Which clips do you want? Like almost like TRL meets the Red Zone. Yeah. Meets, something like that. As far as Around the Horn goes, I watched Around the Horn a lot. In recent years, it's definitely fallen off as the older sports writers have gone in favor of the younger broadcasters and the younger sportscasters. The younger guys just don't do it for me. Like Pablo Torre, Marcel Louis-Jacques, Sarah Spain, like they just don't do it for me. Give me a panel of Bob Ryan, Jackie Mack, Woody Page, and Tim Cowlishaw. Okay, I'm there for it, right? What I didn't like, I love the eulogies through the FaceTime. That was great. You and I are in agreement. It was too much reality shtick, and I think that's what really drove me away. He became shticky. He became, hey, I'm Italian, isn't that great? The Goodfellas thing, the one time was funny. The last time, it was redundant. And, for people who hadn't seen the bit, okay, maybe it's something interesting. Like maybe, oh, cool, oh, he loves Goodfellas. But as somebody who saw the Goodfellas bit live, it's like, oh, that's just fucking redundant. So there was the snake that ate its own tail. I was very disappointed that they didn't mention Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman was the original host of Around the Horn.
right? You had the disembodied voice. You know, it was a whole different format. Like, and it was clear. Like, you were talking about the scoring system and how it made no sense. In the early seasons before they replaced Max Kellerman, because, you know, Max Kellerman is Max Kellerman, it was very clear. Every episode started with explaining the scoring. 2 points for a good answer, 3 points for a great answer, a mute for being a moron. Like, it was very clear. And then it became more ambiguous as the years went on and as the need for more sensational dialogue goes on. It's going to have its place in broadcasting history just for longevity purposes. You know, 23, you don't do anything for 23 years and suck. You're not on TV for 23 years and you're a hack. So they did something right. It definitely tailed off towards the end, in my opinion. It became everything it wasn't. In the beginning, it was like the sports reporters, but with a scoring system. And I like the sports.
So how many years had it fallen off?
For me?
Like the last 4 years, 5 years? Like, what was it for you?
Probably. I haven't been listening with regularity for like maybe the last 5 years. Because I don't even watch it on TV. Like, I listen to it on the podcast. I listen, because I don't even. Who's got time? Like, I don't have time, especially at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, when it first came out, 2002, you know, we didn't have streaming services. We didn't have Spotify. We didn't have kids. Step on up, have a seat. Let's talk about some things we didn't have back in 2002. Things like TiVo were kind of interesting, right? We didn't have on demand. You wanted something, you wanted to watch TV, you had to record it on what's called a VCR. Remember those kiddies? So you had to record it, or you just missed it. Later on, you're able to watch it on demand. You're able to get the audio, just the audio version. And it became easier to reach. And with that evolution, the show evolved as well. But in recent years, you know, a lot of my favorite panelists weren't coming on as often. Like Bomani Jones, I loved Bomani Jones as a panelist. I thought he was very insightful. He didn't mince words, gave no fucks. Gave no fucks. And that's what I like about Bomani Jones. Now, he started venturing off and doing his own thing. He was on with Levitard for a while, and now he's on. He still has the right time with Bomani Jones, I think. But yeah, like seeing that, and then you come to Pablo Torre. You were asking why Pablo Torre was on there. Unfortunately, he's one of the regulars, and I think that's part of the issue because, you know, way back when Tony Kornheiser invented the phrase, he coined the phrase preening schmo in reference to Brian Billick. Pablo Torre is a preening schmo. Like, look at me, look at how smart I am. I went to Harvard. I know big words. Dude, who cares? At the end of the day, just make a cogent argument that everybody can understand and relate to. It doesn't have to be a giant ego stroke. And I think that's part of it, the ego of it all. People started out as columnists, no-name, unknown national columnists, and became celebrities. Who knew Woody Page outside of Denver and Tennessee before Around the Horn took place? I would argue nobody. Right? He became a superstar. Right? The show was a kingmaker in a lot of ways. But like all things, eventually it's got to come to an end. And it has to, you know, it has to be put out to pasture. And maybe something new will come along that'll take elements from it and kind of polish it up and make it different, make it refreshing. Or maybe, you know, it's going to end up on ESPN Classic. And we'll just end up watching old episodes of Around the Horn. We'll see. But the worldwide leader has now a gaping hole at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, what was on today?
I don't even know. But they got to figure it out, because I know PTI, I know they're not going to an hour. I know Tony Kornheiser would never, ever. No, absolutely not. I would love to see those negotiations, but they have shoes to fill. They have some big shoes to fill. Adios to Around the Horn. It's on an infinity and a half-hour break, like Tony said, and we'll watch that space intently.
You can't help but smile when you see a balloon. PopstarsBalloons.com offers spectacular balloon decor for all of life's events, specializing in custom balloon creations and installations for private events, corporate and school functions, photo shoots, brand events, and fundraisers. Led by certified balloon artists, the Popstars Balloon team shape balloons into custom works of art. Popstar Balloons provides full concept balloon design, build and installation services, as well as pre-assembled decor pieces available for pickup or delivery. Popstar Balloons is a woman-owned, small family business focused on providing professional balloon services using only high-quality, 100% biodegradable natural latex balloons made in the US and Italy. They consistently prioritize the safest use and handling of balloons in a sustainable and responsible manner. Popstars Balloons is located in Westchester County, New York, but likes to party at events throughout New York City, Connecticut, Long Island, and New Jersey. Popstars Balloons can also accommodate balloon decor services for destination events. No event too big, no event too small, and their custom personalization service is the perfect touch. They also offer a full line of event decor options like backdrop, prop rentals, tablescapes, dessert table setups, custom signs, and they always deliver with a smile. Whether you're looking for gift balloons, classic decor, or large-scale design for a big impact, Popstars Balloons will create the perfect decor for your theme, vibe, and space. So if you have an idea in mind or need inspiration, Popstars Balloons decor will be the cutting edge and spectacular. Visit popstarballoons.com to pop your next event.
Fair or foul, judging the more messed up stories of the week.
All right, boys and girls, we have some statements here, and they're either fair or foul. Fair or foul. Number one, the Tigers have the best record in Major League Baseball, and they are the best team in Major League Baseball.
I am going to say foul. I think the Dodgers are better, even with all their injuries, and I also think the Yankees are better than the Detroit Tigers. And I think if the Yankees were to play the Tigers in a 7-game series, they'd probably sweep.
I gotta say it's foul as well. While the Tigers are 37-20, there's some stiff competition. You mentioned the Yankees. You know, the Mariners are 30-23. The Astros are 30-25. So it's not such a runaway. Not such a runaway. And then you look at the National League. You got the Phillies. You got the Mets. Like, those can be in the conversation. Those teams can be in the conversation. The Cubs. The Cardinals could be in. The Cardinals. 31-24. Who the hell expected that? That was a team, I think, well, at least I had pegged for last. So, actually second to last, because, the Pirates do exist. So, who expected that? And then the 3 teams out of the West. There's plenty of competition. So there's really no runaway team here. if it continues, right? If they're able to continue to do what they're doing, then they can lay claim to it. But right now, there's a lot more than just the Tigers at the top, as good as they are. And they are very, very good. We need to see more. We got to let it play out just a little bit longer. Some of these teams will, in fact, fall to the wayside. And then other teams, probably the Tigers, are going to pull away. Fair or foul number 2. James Cook, Stephon Diggs, and Kirk Cousins being MIA for OTAs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with foul on this one for Kirk Cousins and Stephon Diggs. Recently, a video surfaced with Diggs and some pink dust in his video, and some women on a boat. Not really the Patriot way there. James Cook, I think he's looking for a new deal, and I think he should get one because I'm pretty sure he led the league in rushing touchdowns last year. So I think it's fair for him to skip out on OTAs. But Kirk Cousins is going to play next year. May not be for the Falcons, but it could be for the Steelers. It could be for the Vikings. I would urge him to go and play. Get your throws in, get your reps in, be a part of this team. They're paying you a ton of guaranteed money. So I would say it's pretty foul for him not to be in OTAs too.
It's fair for Cook from the standpoint of he plays the most physically demanding position. Running back, you're going to get beat up. You have a short shelf life. You don't want to take tread off the tire, especially since he's due for a new contract. Stephon Diggs, you just got to the Patriots, dude. You have to get on the right foot. You have to do a little bit of rehabilitation here. You're starting to get this reputation for being a pariah. Show up and show everybody that you're not that guy. Instead, now you got some drama. And yeah, it's just very unpatriot-like, like you said. Kirk Cousins, also foul. Show up, show you're a team guy, show you're ready to go. And then if you show enough, or if you play the game, somebody's going to come calling. Whoever loses the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes, right? Could you imagine?
Like your money is guaranteed. Yeah. You don't have to worry about getting hurt and losing out on something.
Right. So that's the thing. You're either A, cashing your check, B, showcasing yourself for a trade, or C, playing because Michael Penix gets hurt. Like, you're in the catbird seat here. Like, Kirk Cousins is in a very good position, but he's got to play the game a little bit. He's got to play the game a little bit and show that he's willing to do what needs to be done. So if that means going to OTAs, go to OTAs. No brainer there. Fair or foul number 3. Tyrese Halliburton's father being allowed to attend Game 4.
From what I understand, he's going to be in a suite. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Just keep him away from the floor, and I think it's fine. So I'm saying letting him attend the game is fair.
I'm gonna go with fair as well. The beef was with Giannis. Giannis isn't there. The beef was when Mr. Halliburton was on the court. Keep him in the suite. It's a simple fix, right? If you don't want trouble, put guardrails in that will deter the trouble from happening. I mean, he hasn't been back since the Bucks series. So I think he's done enough to ensure that he's not going to engage in anything again. And if you hold to what you say, nothing's going to come of it. So let him come. It's fair. It's absolutely fair. Because you're going to want, you want to watch your son play, right? That's every father's dream. It's what everybody hopes for. To go and watch your son play. Now, you don't get the right to act like a jackass. You don't get the right to pick a fight with the opposing team. But you can go and you can enjoy the game. Like, that part is definitely fair.
Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade Store with DNZ.com today and check out our releases in apparel, accessories, drinkware, and more. Ever wanted an Alleged Superstar t-shirt? We got those. You want some yoga pants? We got those too. And we're not done yet. We have a lot of exciting collaborations and new products on the way. But check out what we have now at the Fade Store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade Store with DNZ.com. Who's the best of the worst this week in sports? The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award.
All right, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. You know how it goes. We put up a poll on our X account at FadeRouteDNZ, on our Instagram poll at FadeRoutePodcast, and on our Spotify page, and you vote. And you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of said vote gets a shout out on this here show and takes home the coveted ass trophy. And do you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, D? That would be the New York Mets.
Whoa.
Series loss to the Yankees. Juan Soto looking like dog shit. Pete Alonso doing his best Lucas Duda impersonation. The bullpen generally sucking last weekend. They did turn it around. But that was last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for Alleged Superstar of the Week, D?
Oh, so first up, I'm going to have R.J. Lewis Jr. not transferring anywhere because nobody wanted him. Decided to stay in the draft. Think it's a disaster. Even Boogie Flan took some money to go to Florida. I just think this was not thought out very well. I would really like to see him come back to St. John's. And instead, he's probably going to have to go play overseas somewhere. RJ Lewis, you are my Alleged Superstars of the Week. Number 2, I got a few. The first one I'm going to put is the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against Oklahoma City Thunder right now. They had 9 points in the first quarter. 9 points in the first quarter. This cannot be good. This is not going as planned.
9.
So
9
times.
9 times.
So I'm going with the Minnesota Timberwolves as my second star of the week. And number 3, I'm going to take Anthony Edwards in the last game, which was game 4. Where he only had 4 points in the first half. Like, what are you talking about? You're supposed to be the guy. You can't just have 4 points. And on top of that, Julius Randle was 1 for 7. 1 for 7. What is going on? So they can both share that final star. So Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, you are my Alleged Superstars of the Week. What do you got, Zeke?
Oof. Oof. Pathetic.
How you only gonna take 4 shots?
Pathetic.
Man?
Absolutely pathetic.
I'll go in there and chuck it up.
Probably have better luck. I definitely have better luck. I'm going to start with Aston Villa keeper Emi Martinez. Final match of the season against Man U. A victory ensures you a place in the Champions League. And Emi Martinez decides to go out on a pass, an errant pass from Matty Cash, a defender. Man U steals it and it's moving up. Now, instead of waiting back and letting Hoagland take a shot and possibly miss it or make the save and, bail his teammate out that way, Emi Martinez decides to throw a cross-body block that would make Shawn Michaels blush. That was an excellent open field tackle by Emi Martinez. Well done, well done. Slight problem, that's against the rules. That's an automatic red card. Adios, muchacho. On your way to Saudi, and that's the way it ends. On top of that, there was a controversial goal that was disallowed by the officials. And people are pointing to that as the real downturn of the match. No. The real downturn of the match is when your star goalkeeper decides to go WWF on somebody and gets kicked off the field, forcing you to take somebody out and put in your backup. So now you're down to 10. Bad look and bad result because Man U won 2-0. Knocking Villa out. Emi Martinez, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Number 2. I have to go with Stefan Diggs. Cardi B's yacht, some sort of pink substance, not at OTAs, and around models and influencers. It's a bad look all the way around. Don't know what this pink substance is. It's come across Mike Vrabel's desk. Mike Vrabel is aware of what's going on, but it is it is an absolute terrible look. An absolutely terrible look for Stefan Diggs, who's trying to rehab his image as a bad teammate and as kind of a pariah. Not a good way to start in New England. Stefan Diggs, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And then number 3, we could put them up all year. We can absolutely put them up all year if we wanted to. The Colorado Rockies. Oy. What superlatives can be said about the Colorado Rockies? They are on pace to be the worst team since 1899. 1899. They are currently 8-47. Excuse me, 9-47. I shortchanged them. Sorry, guys. I shortchanged you. 9-47. That 9th game, I believe, came against the Yankees last weekend. So, there's that. We can hang that banner. Beat the Yankees this year. Absolutely atrocious. Minor league all the way around. A few weeks ago, they actually put out something on their socials for an open tryout. We should have gone. We'd probably be major leaguers.
Yes.
We would have been major leaguers. 40-year-old catcher with bad knees. It's like, well, it's right there for you. It's right there. Taylor, they ain't released you yet. How's your wife and my kids? Oh, Colorado Rockies. We'll be watching you all year. And not for the right reasons. You or my alleged superstar of the week. I think we said our piece. Go to our X account at FadeRouteDNZ. Go to our Instagram poll at FadeRoute Podcast, or vote on Spotify and vote and vote and vote. And for our nominees,
You're better than that. Just do better. Just do better.
This has been the Fade Route with DNZ. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Catch our podcast on Wednesday nights on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your podcast. So until next time, stay fade, everyone.
time for us to run the go route. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review, rate us 5 stars, turn on subscription notifications, and share on social media. Tell your friends and spread the word.